Okay, we are joined now by the Kansas Jayhawks, Coach Bill Self. Student athletes tonight are Frank Mason III and Landon Lucas. Coach, we'll turn to you first for an opening statement.
Well, you know, we're obviously very disappointed that we didn't perform better today, but you know, give Oregon credit. They were the most aggressive. They were the aggressor and certainly controlled the game almost from the jump. So we certainly needed to play a lot better today and didn't do it. So congratulations to them. It's obviously a disappointing evening for us, but that doesn't take away, you know, the biggest picture of how these guys have played all year and certainly represented their school and each other. So sad, but still yet proud.
Thank you, Coach. Questions now for everyone on stage, Coach, and the two student athletes. First one, guys, will go on your left.
David Smale, Sports Exchange. Frank, with about under 3 minutes to go, you guys were up 6, forced them into a desperation shot, and couldn't get the rebound. It caromed off like 3 people's hands, and they got possession. How critical was that possession for them?
You meant we were down 6, yes. But yeah, you know, that was a critical possession. You know, if we would have got the ball on that possession, you know, gave a chance to make it a 2 or 3 possession game, or a 1 or 2 possession game, and you know, we just couldn't come up with the ball.
Okay, let's move to the front row.
For Bill, how much did Jordan Bell disrupt this game for you guys? You like to attack the basket. That just didn't seem to be there at all tonight.
No, he did a great job, you know, to get 8 block shots and you know, he was able to control, you know, and anchor their defense very, very well. I thought he was terrific, and certainly understand why he was a player of the year in the Pac-12. But even with that being said, there were numerous times where I thought, especially when we got to the bonus relatively early in the second half, that we could have done a better job of trying to draw fouls, being, you know, driving the ball as opposed to, you know, shooting so many semi or guarded threes that we came up empty on.
We'll stay on the front row. Again, please state name and affiliation.
Sean Roney, Dos Mundos newspaper here in Kansas City, for all 3 of you. After the Purdue game Thursday, Coach talked about that when you go this far into the tournament, you play teams that are really good. Other than Dorsey's individual play and the aggressiveness that Coach just talked about, in what ways do you feel like Oregon was really good tonight?
We'll let Landon answer that first.
I feel like they were the more aggressive team. They you know, did the small things to help their team win, and then, you know, they had some players that made some great plays, and it just combined for a good team effort.
Frank?
I think they rebounded the ball really well. They did a good job on the defensive end, and I think they shared the ball really well.
You know, I believe that, you know, in games like this, you know, so much of it comes down to 50-50 balls, and it seemed like to me they got their hands and were able to secure a lot of loose balls. And the other thing that they did a great job of was, I mean, how many times did they make shots at the end of the clock, you know, that were pretty well defended. And you know, we're down 5 and really hadn't played very well in the first half with 1:50 left, and you know, they bang in those 2 3. Well, they banged in the 2 threes in the last 45 seconds that you know, made a close game an 11-point game, and certainly put a lot of game pressure on us.
Again, on the left here on the outside aisle.
Coach, we're used to KU runs. Was it frustrating not to be able to go on one of those? There were several times it seemed like you guys had a chance to regain momentum, couldn't hit the big shot, and they rebounded.
Yeah, I think so. We shot it pretty quick. You know, when things aren't going well, you got to be patient enough and disciplined enough, maybe to give them just a little bit of a chance to break down, and we didn't do that on some key possessions. But, you know, if the ball goes in, it looks good, and the ball's gone in for us, you know, for the entire tournament, and tonight it didn't. But it wasn't from a lack of, I mean, I can't believe how hard our guys tried. You know, we just couldn't really get out of our own way today very well.
On the last row, left side.
Blair Kirkhoff with the Kansas City Star. Bill, you just alluded to it, Dorsey's 2 shots at the end of the first half. You guys have come back from double-digit deficits all year long, but I wonder if there was a different feeling or sense going into the locker room at halftime. Your last 2 possessions are a couple turnovers, and their last 2 are those crazy Dorsey shots.
Yeah, they went 2 for 1. We had I can't remember, Blair, exactly how it happened, but we take a bad shot or he turned it over there with about 50 left, and I'm thinking they're going 2 for 1, and he drove it hard and stopped and made a hard shot. It hit every part of the rim, hit the top of the backboard, and then went through, and then there at the end, unfortunately for us, the thinking is kids are trying hard, so in that situation we got it out quick. When there's an 8-second differential, that's the time you want to just let it bounce and let it bounce and let it bounce and get the differential down to 2 or 3 seconds so you can play for the last shot, and then they don't have a chance to score late. And then he banked in one late. But it was probably a different feel because, in all honesty, in the games that we've come back where we've been behind, I think it was a situation where we weren't playing against the athletes a lot of times of what Oregon has.
We'll move to the right now, again on the final row.
Eric Olson of the Associated Press. Just wanted to ask you guys, given the history, Kansas has had some struggles at this stage of the tournament over the years, being at home, with the way Oregon got off to the start that it did, was there any tightness on your guys' part, do you think?
Oh yeah, I think so. I think we started the game really tight, and we didn't take good shots, and to where we should have just moved the ball and drove the ball downhill and created easy shots for each other.
Okay, let's go on the left. Toward the back.
Dave Scretta from the AP. Bill, I think Josh had 2 fouls probably before he had a chance to sit down. How much did that change the first half and what you guys wanted to do?
I think anytime you take out, one of the best, 10 players in the country, it obviously is going to affect you and in some way. I didn't see his second foul, so I really don't have a feel for that. But I think it was a hand check, if I'm not mistaken. But our team has been really good, but we haven't had as big a margin for error in some ways as some other teams because we only playing 6 guys basically and filling in with the 7th. And you take an All-American talent off the floor, certainly that did change things from a momentum standpoint, especially when they were playing very well.
In the middle here on the left.
CJ Moore, Bleacher Report. Coach, I know that a lot of these seasons sometimes, fair or not, will get remembered and judged by what happens at the end. How much will this one, as you kind of think ahead, how much will this one stick with you just knowing the season you had and this group you've had this season?
Well, they all stick with me, and they'll stick with the players, that have been a part of it. I'm disappointed more for them than I am for me. These guys have put us in a situation to play for the highest of stakes, and today we just came up short. But sure, it's going to stick. It's going to stick with us. But the one thing that did happen today, and it's hard to admit, the best team did win today, and I didn't think we ever really gave our put our best foot forward like we have very consistently all season long.
Have approximately 3 minutes remaining in this session. On the left.
Chris Lazzarino, Kansas alumni. Coach, could you offer a comment about Frank and Landon's careers here?
Well, I think they know how we all feel about them, and certainly how I feel about them. But they've been unbelievable, and the story that everybody's got stories, but the path that these two took to get to the point that they've been, and what a big part of our program they've both been is pretty amazing and remarkable. And you know, Landon, Landon has had an unbelievable last 2.5 years playing for us, unbelievable. And he does so many things that doesn't get recognized, but he's a great teammate and glue guy. And then, you know, Frank had the best year of anybody I've ever coached, and he's as tough as anybody I've ever coached, and he loves his place as much as anybody I've ever coached. And you know, I hurt for them, and certainly, but they've left their legacy, and certainly should be very proud of their accomplishments.
Any other questions? No? Okay, Coach, and Landon and Frank, I'll let you go back to the locker room for more interviews. Thank you for coming. Congratulations on a tremendous season.